Now there was another place. Now this story takes place at another place that I used to work. I just got back from Vancouver. I was doing 21 Jump Street in Vancouver with Johnny Depp and Richard Grieco and Holly Robinson and I don't remember the other guys' names, but those are the ones that I worked with the most. I remember we were in Vancouver, and to kind of get off track here, and I went to a club in Vancouver. They wouldn't let me in because I had a hat on. I was wearing a hat, and they asked me, "Do I know Johnny Depp's stand-in, Bryce? I think his name was." And I said, "Look, man, I'm working on the show. I don't know Bryce, but I met Johnny a couple times. Real nice guy, really nice guy. He actually did something that I thought was kind of cool. It was kind of my first starring guest star, right? You know, they flew me up to Vancouver. In those days, it was all first class. It was really, really cool. And I was in the makeup trailer, and I was, stressing out, of course. And he walked in, came right up to me and said, "Hey, my name's Johnny. Nice to meet you. Welcome. You need anything, let me know." And I said, "Great, great." So that was something I always tried to do when new people showed up on our show, the show I did in San Francisco. I always tried to introduce myself, make them feel at home. I thought that was really sweet. I never forgot that. But he's also the guy that was like, "Here, you want to smoke? You want to smoke?" Because back in those days, the property master, the guy who did all the props, meaning the guns and if you had a gun or the rings or your watch or your glasses or, any prop, they also had cigarettes. So they would give out cigarettes like candy. And it's like, "Here, you want a cigarette? Here, you want a cigarette?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And so I blame Johnny Depp for smoking for a couple of years. But anyways, I digress. Another funny story about that. We were in Johnny's apartment, and his buddy was sleeping in his van, parked on the side of the road, and we were dropping eggs off like the 18th floor, trying to hit the guy's van, and couldn't hit it. It would go right towards it, and then the wind would blow it. But anyways, that's another story. But this place, Osco's, I used to work at. I got back from Vancouver, and another buddy of mine used to work there. He said, "Come on down." I think Jane's Addiction or something was playing. Now, the Guns N' Roses was the house band when I was there. So they were always around, and it was quite a scene, man. Osco's was like 5 different stories, and I was working security, believe it or not. And I think I was just turned 18 to like 19 or something when I worked there, and never saw a fight, never saw any violence at all. One part of the club was like Motown, one floor. Another one, it was like new wave music, and then the Cave down below. I think Tammy, and somebody else used to run the place, and that's where Guns N' Roses were, and it was a peaceful crowd. It was really, really cool. So I went to the show. We're hanging out, we're doing kamikaze shots. And a buddy of mine asked me, he goes, "Hey, you want to go backstage?" "Yeah, let's go backstage." So we go backstage, and my buddy was working security at that time. And the manager, this gal named Marilyn, told him, "Hey, you need to get all those underage girls out from backstage." We just walked backstage. So I didn't see anybody, and he's like, "Yeah, come with me." So we go around this, in the little catacombs, and we find the other part of the dressing room, and these guys are snorting coke off the chests of these girls, and, I guess they were underage. They looked, with the hair and the makeup and everything else going on, and he's like, "Look, you guys got to split. You got to get out of here." So what's his name, the lead singer of the band, goes nuts, goes off, goes to the manager, has a screaming match with her, and they end up getting in a big old thing, and people were spitting, and it was like, I said, I'm out of here, right? I said, I'm totally out of here. So I'm walking out. I'm walking out, and it's like a dance room, dance floor, right? They have these like amps, these Marshall amps stacked up. I mean, huge wall of sound. And they just have Led Zeppelin like on 11, just cranking. And I look and I see there's a body laying against the amp, like a dead guy. And I'm walking and I'm like, I just can't ignore this. I got to say something, right? So I go over and I grab the dude and I lift him up, and it's the guitar player. So I'm like, hey, bro, come on, dude. It's all right. It's all right. He's just hammered, right? And the other guy, the other bass player, I guess, comes up and is like, don't beat him up. Please don't. And I'm like, I don't even work here, man. I'm just helping him to the door. He's like, yeah. Okay. So he kind of walks away, fades away. I'm walking with this dude, and he just loses it and just starts smashing the furniture. Like, from completely knocked out to completely enraged. Just went nuts, smashing the chairs with his boots, and I'm just like, hey, man, whatever. I start heading towards the door, and I feel this bump, and I turn, and he's following me out the door. So I open the door, and I'm like, hey, bro, go for it, man. And the poor dude just took 2 steps and just face planted right on the concrete. Oh, I'll never forget that sound. It was flipping horrible. And that was a Monday night, believe it or not.